Yeah, so here they go. If you've been under a rock or whatever, they just announced open beta test number 2. It feels like number 3, right? Or I guess it's open beta, that's why. But May 13th to May 16th, May 14th to May 16th, GMT, or in PST respectively. But they released some more information about the times and platforms and other stuff. But most importantly, to my understanding, they're going to have all 15 characters. But they also detailed some balance changes that they made. And this got a lot of people on Twitter talking. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I've avoided talking about this game sometime because I think the discourse and people talking about it. I made this tweet like a year or two ago. For some reason, this game, this IP, I think it's worse than Third Strike. I think it's worse than maybe like, there's only like 2 other games you can even put in this category, I think. People that talk about Guilty Gear, it's crazy to me how much people talk about the game now, and they have never played it. Like, just like, as if they're an authority or whatever, and yet they're not like, they don't even understand the game, you know? It's crazy to me. But anyway, changes from the previous open beta test. Online mode, the player can now select a dual station to queue up for battles. After selecting a station, the player enters a standby mode and waits for an opponent. So they added cabs to the lobby? That's cool. I mean, so what I'm getting from this is this. For a year and a half, we tell you how shit the lobby is. Now you're like, okay, so it is kind of shitty. Maybe we should just have made the old one better. We'll add the cabs from the old one. Kind of backtracking, whatever. As long as they work, man. As long as they work. It's kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie to you. Rematch function has been added. Thank you. This is big. Because what this means is, when I finally am able to play somebody after, you know, the whole beta is, what was the game? I'm sitting there with Nerd Josh. You know, we're in Mexico lobby 16, and we're sitting there playing Tummysticks the whole time. It's really weird, really awkward. The point is, we get to play. We got to keep going to the lobby and wiggling our stuff around each time. With an instant rematch button, what that means is, that time where you go back to the lobby, load back in, back to the lobby, load back in, you cut all that out, and it doesn't sound like a lot of time lost, but it, over the course of an hour, over the course of 2 hours, it is. Quick rematch like that, that's going to mean more game time over the course of how long you sit down to play, which is good. That's always good. This should be standard in every game. This should never be something that they have to even add in a year and a half later down the line. This should be day one, day minus 365. Thank you for putting the instant rematch button. In Ranked Tower, you can rematch up to 3 times or until players' recommended floor changes. That's good. In the open park, you can rematch as many times as both players agree. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Other features of the lobby have also been improved. Like what? I guess we'll find out. But anyway, this I think is what got most people yapping. Battle balance adjustments. So the problem is this. The problem is Twitter gives everyone a voice because everyone should have a voice. The problem is that not everyone necessarily should be listened to or heard. That's the issue. So I'm not smart enough to tell you, hey, they made this change. The game's gonna be exactly like this. The truth of the matter is, with a package of changes, it's going to be very difficult for you to imagine exactly how the gameplay is going to turn out differently compared to what you played before. You can look at some ideas here, and you can kind of get, you know, an image of maybe of what it will turn out to be. But as a package, all of these things, there's, like, dude, you think about a game, there's so many turning wheels. There's so many gears behind there. You can imagine how one will affect the overall product, right? But when all of them are changing like that, it becomes very difficult to predict, is my thing. It's okay to just shut the fuck up and say you don't know. Me, I read this, when the same move is used more than a set number of times in a combo, the opponent falls out. So they tech out now if you use the same move in a combo like that. That's good. That's gonna help, I think, curb a lot of the loops. But even like some of the like core combo structure, you know, like it was just really easy to just do like with Soul, you know, you never had to sweat over like combo sequencing, right? That's probably something that they had to do, I think. I'm not really sure what to add on to it beyond that. Aerial actions have been adjusted. Using aerial attacks, double jumps, and air dashes now cause recovery on landing. So a lot of people were saying, what? There's recovery on landing? This is just like Street Fighter, without them realizing.
JD. Every character's JD has landing recovery. and I'm gonna show that to y'all right now. So first, I'm gonna do jump JS, and I'm gonna just land and block, right? So when I do this, see how like Maze 3K does not hit Soul. Now I'm gonna switch to JD. See how it trips him?
The point being, this was in the game before. This was an excerpt. This is but you know, people are so knee-jerky with anything with this game, and it's the way the discourse has kind of gone with it. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I'm good on that shit. Like, even talking to people about it is exhausting. The truth of the matter is, jumping was very strong in the last beta, and you don't even really know the entire nuance of this, right? Something that's going to be important to consider is exactly how much recovery aerial attacks have. Is it only certain classes of aerial attacks that have this amount? These attacks have this amount. Is it going to just be carbon copy across the board? Any jump attack you press has this much landing recovery. Is it going to be certain moves have more than others? Is it going to be variable? You don't know yet. They didn't tell you. You don't know. Shut up. You don't fucking know. So people going super ham on, or making like very like charged statements based on that alone is very, very strange to me. Jumps and dashes now cover less distance. Characters now enter an airborne state later and after a jump begins. So this to me is actually one of the more, this one kind of stood out to me as something that's important to consider. Because I'm like, the way I would interpret that and think that they did that is that they made jump startup slower. Because, you know, before it felt like there was jump startup, but it was very small. It wasn't like that large to where you could kind of just, you could do, what is it, 393 kind of? And just jump in FD, right? And you could just get out and just block a lot of stuff, right? There's a few ways that this statement could be true without making the change that I'm thinking of it, but that's the point. They don't go into detail. I don't know. All we can do is speculate because, you know, that's just what the information that you're given. Jumping in the last beta, like I said before, was very, very strong. It just felt like there wasn't a lot of risk, man. The fact that jump FD cuts off all those attacks the way they do. Characters like Potemkin, Soul, Mei, who have really, really strong jump-in normals that can, you know, dunk on you if they land the hit. It felt like with anti-airs being as weak as they were, and for some characters as low return damage-wise as they were, it felt very difficult to discourage people from jumping, especially like those three characters specifically, you know? So my thing is, these things as a package, you have to wait to see how this develops. You'll get a good idea of it, I think, in this next beta. But something else that they talked about, the command normal 6P has been adjusted to work as an anti-air attack. Hitbox has been expanded upwards, hurtbox has been reduced, attack is now active. So I wonder if, the question that I had before was, are they going to make jump-ins weaker or are they going to buff anti-airs? Sounds like they buffed anti-airs. So here's the funny thing about this game. It took them a year and a half, 3 beta tests, to make 6P an anti-air. And that's what scares me about this game. That said, I wonder what kind of effects they'll have. If maybe like anti-air 6Ps, maybe giving more of the like counter zoom in effects or some kind of way to make them have stronger return. I wonder if they'll do something like that. I don't know. Recovery time has been increased after blocking an attack while in midair. That's good, I think. Because like I said before, right, being in the air was pretty advantageous. You were in last beta, you pretty much had a lot of reasons to really, especially if you ran one of those 3 characters I was talking about. You had a lot of good reason to just be in the air swinging and trying to go through that way, especially depending on some matchups. But overall balance has been adjusted, so it sounds like they made some individual changes as well. Values displayed on screen, notes. So that's really about it. So yeah, the meat of this release was the beta dates, the fact that they added instant rematch, they didn't rework the lobbies like we all wanted. But to be honest with you, with the time constraints that they had, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. It's not too late to just scrap this shit completely. I would rather just have a menu lobby than have this shit, to be honest with you. Like I said, I don't want to have to play Tummysticks with strangers, because quite frankly, first of all, that shit's weird. Second, I'm shy and uncomfortable, and that makes me uncomfortable, you know? I'm not down to just go around the world and just play Tummysticks with virtual avatars. It's okay if you just give us the menu. Just give us the menu. They made some adjustments that they think will work out. They give us an instant rematch button. They buffed 6Ps, which is pretty good because I felt like most characters, I can't say most characters, I didn't play most characters, but it felt like a lot of characters or 6Bs just didn't really do anything, you know? So at least if they're more functional as anti-airs, I'm a little concerned because with these changes, in theory, like, isn't Soul 6B even better now, you know? But part of the thing is, you can't read this and get on Twitter and be like, oh my god, it's Street Fighter. Like, yes, there are a lot of Street Fighter 5e things about this game, but you don't ride to the table to have that debate with, like, oh, they put landing recovery. Like, that's not the best argument. Point is, like, with a collection of changes like this in any game, it's very difficult to predict what the final outcome is going to be gameplay wise when you change out so many different parts, you know? Hopefully you guys are excited for it the way I am, and I'll check you guys out. I'll see you guys in the beta. How about that?